We finally already get to see a fight between Rokuro and fucking Benio, and I gotta say, this fight already from the start of episode 2, I can already say I like episode 2 a lot more than I did episode 1 on Twin Star Exorcist. Now, unfortunately, we have to bring this up immediately on there because, unfortunately, a lot of people always still keep going out and saying, Imperial, they keep changing things. Now, this is the thing, we start hearing this stuff and I'm like, oh, they need to redeem themselves, like Imperial. It's like, it's a fucking anime studio, for fuck's sake. And they're redeeming on there because everyone likes to fucking complain about this little series here. And I want to point something out, especially on Ghoul. No one, and I mean fucking no one, would have given a shit about this show if that fucking anime wasn't out. If people didn't like that anime that much, if it was so bad, then there wouldn't have been anything at all on it at all. I'm just saying all that. I didn't see no one talking about that fucking show one bit and all that before even that anime was even announced and all that. I didn't see no chapter reviews. I didn't see no nothing like that. Like, simple as fact is that anime made that fucking series popular, alright? So don't give me none of that bullshit. That they ruined the chances of it. Now, we can talk all days about the second season. That's the stuff I'll agree with you guys on. That's a fucking terrible season, but season 1 is great. It's fine as it is. It wouldn't have fucking blown up if it wasn't fucking good, alright? So, like, let's stop going on that stuff. I'm only saying this because, like, it's the same studio, and there is some changes in this, like, mainly being that little Fox dude, which, like, honestly, he was in for, like, a scene, and he was completely fine, and honestly, because people keep coming out, like, say, like, this and that to this series, or any of these other ones, it's like, I've actually ended up having to read, like, the chapter of the manga just to see what the fuck they're talking about. And I saw the first chapter of the actual manga, like, the last week, and I saw, like, oh, there was a few differences, and I thought, it wasn't that bad. However, I will say there was one scene that was omitted from, like, the second chapter that I actually really liked. There was other stuff that was, like, comedy stuff, and it was like, oh, that's just not too much. But it isn't, like, where it's destroying the manga, alright? Plus, as well, it also works in a business perspective, because, like, hey, guys, don't worry, there's also stuff in the manga that you didn't actually manage to catch and all that. So, hey, it's like, if you don't like the anime and all that, then you've got the manga to go to. And if you want to see how it's animated, then you've got the anime to go to. It's like, I feel like not everything has to be 100% faithful. Sometimes, like, what some anime studios do, like, are actually way better than what the source material is. Yu Yu Hakusho. It did a way better ending than what the actual manga did. So I'd like to say, like, you know, people need to fucking calm their tits. And oh, who did fucking, like, Hakusho all those years though? Oh, it was Period. Oh yeah, and guess what? They changed material at the end and all that, and you know what? It's a fucking fantastic series. So there we go, right? End of fucking discussion. Now, I've got to say, like, you start off this episode, it was like, you got to see, like, the whole little bit of trolling between Benio and, like, Rokuro, and I got to say, I love this little, like, kind of that too much. It was like, visuals and that, it was fine. It was like, the ending was like an ending song. Like, it's a shame because most, like, endings are badass, but I was like, that was one where I was like, I could live without this one. And it leaves off naked, like, known as Arima, and I was like thinking, wow, really? This guy's name's Arima, you know, and we were just talking about this white hair as well, leader of everything. Bit suspicious, right? It's alright, he's in the manga though, so relax everyone. And he's like the head of all the fucking exorcists everywhere. And he was like, I'm going to invite all you guys here. Have you come over here? And then it was like, oh, by the way, Benio, like, you're being chosen right now. And it's like, everyone's like, oh, I expected her, though. Like, she's obviously the chosen one. She's like, you know, obviously the great, you know, child that's been felt with, like, a silver spoon in her mouth since she's ever been born. And then Rokuro gets called up as well. And everyone thought, oh, well, she was, like, the Miko, like, which is, like, the chosen one that's supposed to, like, dispel all the Kagaris out of everywhere. And it was like, no, you two are going to fight to the death, and everyone's thinking, like, these two are on equal strength, so whoever is the strongest, obviously, is going to fucking, you know, become the Miko. And it's like, the bit that got to me, it was like when you saw Arima's talking shit about his friends that died, and he just said simply they were weak and all that, they were useless and all that, and that's when you start getting... Now, here's the bit when we was talking about the whole manga and anime differences, like, this is the one bit I read of the chapter, and I was like, actually, that was a really good scene, I really liked that, I wish they kind of kept that in, is when you got to see him, like, in the manga, he's like, like, oi, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like that. He has this real big rape face on him, and then he's like talking, saying, you don't talk smack about my family. I thought like those 2 pages were really good. I don't know why they like kind of skimmed on that stuff. Maybe it's a bit too dark. Maybe they want to make it a little bit lighter. I don't know, guys. But it's like, I would be this fucking chapter is that they didn't animate that part, because I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know if they're going to add it on Teacher, but I feel like I can live without it. Like, I feel like I'm not going to, like, I had an arm cut off or anything, and like, no, this panel needs to be adapted, especially. However, one thing that they did spend extended time on was that fight where you get to see Benio and fucking Rokuro go at it like animals. I fucking love this fight so much. Really badass. I love like you seeing like the parallels between the two. It's like obviously she's very like fast and quiet, although Rokuro she's like very loud, and also as well he's like focuses on strength with his gauntlet. And it's definitely shown like I've seen a lot of characters that obviously have like kind of this gauntlet kind of arm thing recently, and I'm like, you know what he should have, like, at the end of the series? He should have that arm, but he should have a full fucking body armor of that situation. Or maybe, like, just have, like, a spear or something. Like, I feel like when you got, like, something like that, and it's like, that's a pretty cool... I really want to see what that would look like, and it's like a full armor set. I feel like that would be the best thing about it, but it's like, maybe we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they might do something like that in the future. I honestly don't know about that. Like I said, like, I kind of want to read the manga, but I feel like since the anime's out, it's like, might as well just wait. And just being surprised that they adapted a full chapter out of this. This was a single chapter they adapted a manga. It's like, this is the best thing about this show, especially if when I was checking it, it's like, oh, it's like how a monthly series should be. It's that it should be about 45 to 50 pages. Like that, you know, hey, a month's worth of material, like how normal people are. And this is the thing that pisses me off a lot about monthly series, is that I don't know why. It's just the occasional thing. It's like, oh, by the way, guys, and all that, this is what we're going to do. Like, after we got successful or something like that, we're just going to do 12 chapters, or we're just going to, like, later on, we're just going to do 27 a month, or, like, that pisses me off, especially Blue Exorcist doing, like, 12, like, chapters a month, like, 12 pages a month, like, really? It's one of the things I dropped the series for, because I honestly couldn't stand the horrible pacing of the arc, and just, I didn't like the arc that they were doing at the moment. I thought it was the worst part of, like, Blue Exorcist, so I honestly didn't like that. But it's saying, like, considering that, then, like, I like the stuff that they added in, I like some of the stuff they take out, I didn't like that, but mind you, though, Hakusho, which is, like, one series that fucking Period did back in the day, guess what? It had a fucking terrible ending in the manga, and they cleaned that up and made it one of the best fucking animes, period. So, it's like, saying, like, taking stuff out and then adding new stuff in is not always bad. Sometimes it is bad, but for this case and all that, for the extending the fight was really badass. I really did like that. The stuff that they added in, it was fine, it was harmless. I wasn't here like going, oh my god, like I'm losing an arm here, like on this situation. And the same thing can be said with taking the stuff out, where it's like, I thought it was a really cool line. I guess that's something, you know, I get to experience in, like, the manga. Is like, there's going to be more stuff in there that obviously I'm probably not going to experience, and maybe some little jokes or two that they left out. But even still, it's like the fact that they managed to, even with all this stuff, keep a chapter's worth of material in, that's fucking impressive. And it shows, like, you know, like, especially that, like, how much people care about this, like, manga, like, out of the blue already talking about the anime. I feel like that's the case where it's like, this show is pretty popular, like, in this way, and it's like, I feel like its popularity can get a little bit higher now because the anime is coming out, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely more interested in checking out the manga, but I'm also more interested in checking out the anime as well. It works in both ways, so I feel like people are being almost childish in this sense, where it's like, they just go, you're changing the material, like that, and it always doesn't work sometimes, but then as well, when it's needed, or when it's like happens and all that, it's sometimes fine to great to like, it really needed a change. And I've seen a lot of series that have actually needed that in some cases, where they've might need like filler content to like maybe spread it out a bit or something else. But honestly, I think this episode is better than fucking episode 1. Actually, I think this is like I gave, I think, like episode 1 like an 8 or something like that. I think this is a 9. I thought it was a really great episode, and it showed a lot between Benio and Rokuro's character, and the fight was awesome. Arima was a little bit weird. He seems a little bit of the jokester. I'm still used to the silent kind of guy from Ghoul, like Arima. But we'll get over that one. And the opening, I really do like the opening. I did a live reaction on that, so you can check that down below. I'll link you down there. Ending's fine. Like, that's all I can say about it. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What did you think about this episode of Twin Star Exorcist? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you having a nervous breakdown because they started skimming material and adding in filler stuff? You guys need to, I think you got more priorities to actually, you know, think about than just having an anime adding stuff in. I think there's more things to worry about in the world than just like, oh my god, they added fucking filler. But that's some people's center of the world, I guess. But that's all from me. So I'll see you guys and you Twin Star Exorcist fans next time.